Everybody.
Hey, it looks like we're live finally. Yay! It looks like we have Merlin in the house. We have Vera Faith and Starflower. So, Aya, welcome to our, first time ever doing this observance. So, Dave, do you want to, did you want to say anything? Because I will tell them, like, how we kind of came about the idea to do this, but I thought maybe you'd want to add
Oh, okay.
some
Well,
stuff.
yeah. This is the first ritual that I've written myself. Usually, other people do it because either they have experience doing it, like Lisa, with other paths, or they're just better, writers for that sort of stuff. But this is the one that I came up with myself. So this is what we'll be doing not only this evening, but also on April 3rd. So there are two parts to it. The first one is the fading of the evening star, and then the one on April 3rd is the rising of the morning
Yeah, you
star when it
guys
first
may want to
becomes visible.
calendar your April 3rd. Although I will tell you that if you're in Europe, you'll probably be able to catch it live. Otherwise, you'll probably need the replay because we're going to do it pretty early in the morning. And the reason we're doing it that way is so that Venus will be up in the sky. Now, mentioning here that Dave was running figures for the last day that Venus is visible on the western sky, but it's different for every location in the world. So we had to average it out for like most of our viewers. I'm here in San Diego, and believe me when I tell you, I can see Venus very clearly, and I'll probably see it for a long while still. I wanted to
Well, for a
say
number
hi
of days,
also to Kelly Keith, our newest patron, which is wonderful. How are you doing? And Nimwe's in the house, so and maybe Draco too.
it also since Venus the as an inferior planet it's always close to the sun. I also had to
Yeah.
figure in naked eye observation and safety of the people observing it.
Right.
So
Right.
if you were like if you had a telescope with a filter and all that, yes, you could see it much later. But
Right.
elves didn't have that, so
I know, and
yeah,
we're
so
doing it like for basic,
right,
like like we're not doing it for astronomers. We're doing it
right.
for people who are interested in the observance and probably are using just their eyeballs, right, or at least glasses. Maybe they'll have binoculars,
Right,
but basic equipment.
right.
Right. So we'll go ahead and get ready, and we're gonna do like a ritual format, but we're not going to necessarily have a meditation because it's more of an observance rather than a holiday. And the observance has to do with Venus's cycle rather than the sun's cycle or the moon cycle. So all the other holidays, including uh, the one that we have for the 13th moon, that's resonating with the moon, and also the first day of winter, of which we improvised the awakening of the elves because of the stories. The Silmarillion describes the kind of sky that Dave recognized. Oh, this happens around this time of the year, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. It's first day of winter, and we need to round out the calendar. So that would be more of a solar observance because it happens at the same time every time that year. So it's where the sun is, okay, in retrospect to everything else. This is the first time, other than when we did Il Veranta back in 2009, when it was conjunct Jupiter. And so it
2007
was up in
actually.
the sky, and we did a rainbow bridge, and that was so fun. That was a really fun ritual. But we haven't done anything like this for a really long time, and it's the first time that we ever observed Venus retrograde, where Venus is leaving the evening sky and falling. So thus the name, the falling or the fading of the evening star or even star. this star resonates, I mean, in a couple of different ways in Tolkien, and we'll talk about that. But one way is through Earendil, the half-elven, with his wife Elwing, and on his brow is the remaining Silmaril of the three Silmarils that shines brightly and is made with the light of the sun and the moon, which actually came from the trees rather than the sun and moon themselves, because those were created later. We have also the resonance of the evening aspect of the, so in the western sky is where we have the evening aspect of the twilight energy with Venus. And that period, we are resonating with Arwen. Now, the reason that we're doing it that way is I saw on a recent group of, like, you know, Elvish language studies, etc., that the word Earendil is not proper to call Venus, because it would be like calling the moon Diana or something like that. And I'm kind of thinking,
I don't agree with
actually,
that
that
assessment,
fits.
just to
And,
say.
you know, like, meaning
Yeah.
we are actually accessing the mythos. In other words, like, I think that we are using that properly. Like, we're not doing science and stuff, and, you know, we're a spiritual path.
I just have to say, I have to state for the record that I don't agree with your particular expert. So I'm just saying.
And
yeah.
Okay, the thing is that he shared a note written by Tolkien, and Tolkien actually said, in a mythological sense, it's natural. So literally,
Exactly.
we're agreeing with Tolkien. Okay, like,
right.
It's. But I had to laugh because you know, there is this whole thing of, like, you know, we can't call, you know, Venus Earendil. It's actually called Elmo, and, you know, and I'm kind of going, you know, I think that we can call Venus Earendil,
Elmo is a
and I
Muppet.
think we can call the Evenstar Arwen. I really do. I think we can call the Evenstar Arwen Undomiel, because
Exactly.
she resonates with the hope of her people as the star is fading. And of course, during her time, that was when the elves were leaving Middle Earth, and and it was becoming the age of men, right? And then as Venus travels to the eastern sky, and we wait a few days, and that's why we decided to do this during Venus retrograde, because it'll be really fast between when she shows up from the evening sky and falling, and then when she's rising in the eastern sky, it'll be way less days in between that, okay, before, like, she falls in the eastern sky and rises in the western sky. That's a bigger cycle. That's the superior cycle, and it's, you know, it takes much longer. So
also,
we decided to do it during Venus retrograde because it just works better.
Also, just as a matter of things that would be problematic to say, if you call Venus Elmo, people are not going to think of. They're going to think of the Red Muppet. I'm just saying, you know. Okay. Yeah. Hey there, Elmo, you bastard!
Correct on that.
I see you sailing your ship up there. How the fuck are you?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's always a party around here, I'll tell you. So my point is that I do believe that our path is in not only in essence, like, wants to resonate with the mythological aspect of the stories. I kind of think it's our job. It's kind of our duty to bring forth the, you know, mystical and the mythological aspects of the legendarium, and therefore the spiritual path that we are creating. So just letting you guys know, we are aware of other people's you know, stances and opinions on this matter, and we don't care. we want to celebrate anyway. And I actually, so to go back in a little bit in time, we had a recent ritual where I was in meditation and realized we could resonate with the Evenstar and the morning star during the Venus retrograde cycle, because I knew that that was coming up, and I shared the meditation results to the group, and this is through the sister group called Il Salute Valion, which you guys, some of you guys know what that is. If you don't, just type in the comments that you don't know what that is and you want to check it out. And in fact, I'll just type in a website if you guys want to check it out. It's westofwest.org, and it's called Il Salute Valion. They are a sister group of us, and they do their own rituals. So I sometimes tune in on their rituals. And so I was shown that we should honor the cycle of the even star as well as the morning star. And Dave was like, yeah, we should. And I'm like, hey, how about we do it at Venus retrograde? And it's like, you know, right around the corner. So, and then Dave was the one that wrote the ritual, and it's so good. Wait till you guys see it. Okay, it's gonna, you're gonna be like, no way. Now, he wrote it in the Il Salute Valion format, but we'll do it for the Way of Arda's lore today. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. And in fact, let's get going. Do we have anything else that we have to take care of? Housekeeping, business? We're going to be back on April 3rd. So either mark it for the replay if you don't want to wake up super early in the morning, or if you're in Europe, you'll be very happy about that, because that'll be like something that you could like partake in. Okay. So we are going to do Linde, Ellen Lotte, the Song of the Starflower. We're going to do the directions, and I have a septagram for the directions. Okay. We will be using the septaquitra in our books in the future, but this is an older copy, and I still have my septagram necklace along with my 2 trees. So we can just use this, and this would be like the 10 o'clock position, right? The 4 o'clock position. So that's how we're, and this is the 12 o'clock, and this is the 5 and 7 o'clock. So we're going to use this like a clock face, okay? We're gonna start at wherever you are, the 4 o'clock position, whatever that looks like for you, and we're gonna intone Elenia for star day. Okay, Elenia. We go over to the 8 o'clock position and intone Anaria, which is the sun day. Anaria. Let us go to the 2 o'clock position. We intone Esilia, which is the moon day. Esilia. We go down to the 7 o'clock position and intone Alduia, which is the day for the 2 trees, which are Telperion and Laureline. Alduia. We go up to the 12 o'clock position at the top. This is intoning Menelia, which means heaven's day. Menelia. We go down to the 5 o'clock position. We intone Earenia, which means the sea day or mariner's day. We go over to the 10 o'clock position and we intone Valanya, which is the high day, the day of the Valar. Valanya. And we come back to the 4 o'clock position to close our septagram, septaquitra. We intone Arda, which is the earth that we live on. Arda. And next we want to put our hand either in the fear not mudra, which is like just holding your fingers together and your palm outward. Okay, or if you prefer, you can put your hands in namaste position and you can intone Aya. We're going to do that 3 times, and that means let it be, that let it become. Okay, this is from the word of Iluvatar after the singing of the 3rd song of Arda and Aya and Arwen, you know, all of the things, okay? We now want to call the directions, and we want to call in the Valar. Okay, the first one would be the direction of east. If you can face east, that's amazing, but you can also envision east. Trace this with your finger, and it looks like a letter Y with a lot of curve. Okay, this is called Roman. It means east, and so then you put your hand in Fear Not Mudra after you trace. We intone Roman. Roman. We now call on Manwe Sulimo, the High King of Arda, the eagles and the winds, and his lady Varda Elentari, the Queen of the Stars and the protector of Arda and Iluvatar's children. We welcome you into our circle, Aya. Okay. The next symbol, it looks kind of like a upside down Y, but it's Hjarmen. It means south. We trace this, okay? And then we hold our hand in Fear Not Mudra, and let's intone Hjarmen, which means south. Hjarmen. We now call on Tulkas, the youngest bare-handed ruddy warrior Vala, and Nessa, the sister of Orome, and the friend of the deer, she who dances on the new green grass. We welcome you into our circle, Aya. And we can't hear Dave, and I'm wondering why. Dave, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
you're okay.
Yeah.
Did you mute yourself for a moment?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're back though. That's fine. Okay, we are now calling in the north. Okay, this is this here. It looks like a B with an underline. Okay. And this symbol is called Formen. So we'll go ahead and draw the symbol as we see it, and then hold our hand in the Fear Not Mudra. We intone Formen, which means north. Formen. We now call on Iole, the smith who dwells in the ground, the Vala of the mining and the crafting of metals and gemstones, he who created the dwarves as a gift to Iluvatar. And to our motherly Yavanna Kementari, the giver of fruits and the queenly Valier of Arda's maturing green vegetation of harvest and of the life that nourishes all of us. We welcome you into our circle, Aya.
Yeah.
And then you'll see underneath, and I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Ah, here we go. Okay, it's this one that we want to do. This, it looks more like the N. Okay, right here. We want to put that right on the center of our heart, because this is the Tengwar Ore of the heart or the inner mind. Okay, so it's directional, but we count that as the center of our being. So the center is the word me, M-I, which means within. Okay, so we want to draw the ore on our heart and put our hand over our heart and intone me. Me. We now call on the hunter Vala Orome, Lord of the Forest, he who loves the elves and wanders all of Arda on horseback with his horn, and Vana, the ever young and vital, she who aligns with the flowers and the new plant growth. We welcome you into our circle. Aya.
Yeah.
Okay, next, we draw this up above us, and this is the Tingwar. Hang on. There we go. That is the Tingwar for Velia, the sky, and we draw this above us. Okay, it looks like a U with a line over the top. So we do that, and then you can hold your hand upward, or you can just hold it regular if it's like stressful or anything. And we want to intone or, which means above. Okay. Oh. We now call on Irmo, Lorien, the Vala of the high light gardens, who nurtures our goals and visions and dreams. And Este the gentle, the Valier of rest, sleep, and healing. We welcome you into our circle. Aya.
Yeah.
Next, we want to face downward or have something under us, okay? We are going to be using this Tingwar. It looks very similar to Roman, which is east, but this means below, okay? We are using the Tingwar for Arda because we don't have one that means below, but Arda works just fine. So it's the same shape with an extra tail, okay? So we'll draw that. And then we want to put it down so you can just hold your hand like this. We intone undo, which means below. Undo. We now call on those of the Valar who walk alone. Ulmo, the brother of Manwe, the powerful and protective Vala of all of the musical waters of Arda, and Niena, the Valier of our transformation and rebirth. It is she who, through her tears, intensely cleanses and restores all forms of fear, pain, and hurt that have come before. We welcome you into our circle. Aya.
Aya.
Last, we want to go west or visualize west, and we want to use this, it looks like an M with a lot of curve. And this is Newman, this is west, okay? So we'll draw this in front of us. And hold our hand. In our Fear Not Mudra, we intone Newman. We now call on Namo in the halls of Mondos, the Vala of the balance and fair judgment of our respective paths of death, and to Vaire the Weaver, the ever-changing black and white threads of time, the past, present, and the future. We welcome you into our circle. Aya.
Aya.
And finally, in order to resonate with all of this, we want to acknowledge the flame imperishable. So you could either draw a flame in front of you. You might even have a real candle. you can maybe just make a flame like this, or you can visualize a flame in the vessel, like your hands, okay? However it works. We intone iluve, which means the all, the everywhere. We acknowledge that we are one with Eru Iluvatar, as well as the spirit of Christ consciousness for those who are present, who are Christians. We feel the flame imperishable within us in this circle, in this celebration on this evening. Laita. Does the ritual show?
Well, if we would have done it the way that I wrote it, you know, I would have probably gone through this little preparation here about, you know, you would have a candle or lantern,
oh,
etc.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. We did talk about how this would be the IV format. We're doing the Tia Eldaleva / Way of Arda's Lore format.
I mean, I can read the little preparation here if you want.
Okay, sure. That's fine.
Begin in dim light, holding an unlit lantern, candle, or star symbol. Then speak. Bright burns the Evenstar, jewel of twilight's hour. Yet even the fairest light must fade. Though her path leads into shadow, still she is not lost, nor shall she be forgotten. And then the person would light the lantern or candle and raise it high, symbolizing Arwen's enduring presence.
I see.
And then,
okay, and we did Linde and Lalote, so that's completely great. You guys have a different way of doing that. Hey, we can align the sacred sphere. This is cool. Let's do that.
Okay.
Do you want me to read it, or do you want to read it?
I'll do it.
Okay, that's awesome.
Fine. Okay. Aligning with the sacred sphere. Be aware of the earth plane, the four directions, its seasons, its many mansions, and the ground beneath you. Send your wellness upward into the realm of air, its vastness, the stars and planets, and the three divisions of its realm, Vilna, Ilwi, and Vita, in order from the surface of the ground upwards. Intone Manuel's Valar name, Manawenuj. Allowing it to attune your consciousness to the heights. Next, send your awareness downward to experience the realm of the sea, its immensity and intrinsic power, its mystery and life. Feel the outer reaches of the encircling seas of Vi. Intone Umol's Valaran name, Ulubosh. And allow it to attune your consciousness to the depths. Next, return your awareness to the earth plane and experience the realm of earth, plane of union. Be aware that all the realms meet and merge here. Intone always Valaran name, Agua Ulesh. And allow it to attune your consciousness to the earth. Finally, send your awareness outward to encompass the sphere of Arda. Be aware that you are the epicenter of this sphere with its three realms, and that all of its energies unfold around you, connecting you to all. And now this is a poem. It's not a token poem, it's a original poem. The passing of the Evenstar. Upon the bed of kings he lay, the last bright fire of Numenor's day. In silent street where shadows fell, he spoke his will, his last farewell. To Odarion the crown was given, the winged son of Gondor's heaven. Then all withdrew save only one, the Evenstar, whose light was spun from elder years and elven grace, yet mortal tears now marked her face. My lord, my love, one moment more. The years have passed, yet still I soar upon the winds of mortal life. Must I now bear this parting's knife? He took her hand, his voice was low. Beloved, this fate was long ago decreed upon that garden fair, where birches whispered through the air. On Caran Amroth, neath the stars, we cast aside both fate and scars, forsaking twilight, shunning shade, yet knowing well the price we paid. Would you have me linger on, till witless, frail, my strength is gone? Nay, lady mine, this gift I take, to sleep in peace, for love's own sake. For I am king of elder days, the last to tread the Numenorian ways. A gift it is, though bitter seemed, beyond these walls, beyond all dreams. No comfort then he offered her, for none within the world could stir a balm to heal such grief profound, no light where such a loss is found. Repent and take the western shore, let memory bloom for evermore, or stay and bear the doom of men, abiding loss, enduring then. She answered soft, yet firm her tone, no ship would bear me, I am alone. My choice was made, my doom was cast, to fade, to frail, to break it, to fade, to fail, to break at last. I mocked the hearts of men of old, who feared this fate, whose hands grew cold, but now, dear Lord, I see their woe, for death's embrace is harsh to know.
Yeah,
Yet
that's
Estelle,
beautiful.
yet Estelle smiled, though sorrow weighed. My Evenstar, be not afraid. Beyond this world lies more than lore, more than memory waits in store. We shall not part forevermore. Estelle, Estelle, she cried in pain, but he had passed beyond all pain. Upon his brow was glory bright, as if one wove the dawn with night. For youth and age in him were twined, like fire and shadow intertwined. So lay he there, his spirit free, a king of men in majesty. But Arwen, shrouded now in grey, went forth in sorrow on her way. Her heart grew cold as winter fell, and shadow dimmed her starlit spell. To Eldarion she bade farewell, and to her daughters fair and fell, then left behind the white city stone to walk the golden wood alone. Yet Lorien in silence lay, no harp, no voice, no golden sway of light upon its Meloran trees, only echoes drifting on the breeze. And when the winter winds did call, beneath the hill she let night fall. There where once her love was sworn, upon Caran Amra's mournful thorn, she laid her down, no spring to see, no bloom of flower, no melody. Forgotten now, her grave unknown, to worlds remaking stone by stone, and Eleanor and Nephrodil nor more shall bloom on Western Hill.
Wow. That's really intense and beautiful rhyming too.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Vingalote's consecration, Earendil's voyage, and the hollowing of Vingalote. Earendil saw no hope remaining in Middle-earth, for the wars had laid waste to the land, and no aid had come. In despair, he turned once more toward the west, with Elwing at his side, bearing the Silmaril upon his brow. The light of the jewel grew ever brighter as they sailed into seas beyond mortal knowing, passing beyond the enchanted isles and the shadowy seas. At last they beheld the lonely isle of Tol Eressëa. The Teleri, gazing from afar, saw the approach of Vingalote, radiant with the holy light of the Silmaril. Then Earendil, first of living men, set foot upon the immortal shores of Aman. Here none but myself shall tread lest you fall under the wrath of the Valar. That peril I take upon myself alone for the sake of the two kindreds. But Elwing leapt into the white foam and followed him, saying, then would our paths be sundered forever. But all thy perils I will take on myself also. Thus they departed from their companions, and Earendil alone passed into the land, ascending the green hill of Tuna, where the streets of Tirion stood empty. His heart was heavy, for he feared that even the blessed realm had fallen into shadow. But as he turned back toward the sea, a great voice calling to him from the heights, hail, Earendil, of mariners most renowned. The look for that cometh at unawares. The longed for that cometh beyond hope. Bearer of light before sun and moon, splendor of the children of earth, star in the darkness, jewel in the sunset, radiant in the morning. Then Earendil was brought before the Valar, where he pleaded for the two kindreds, pardon for the Noldor, mercy for the men and elves, and aid in their greatest hour of need. And Manwë gave judgment. The peril he ventured for love of the two kindreds shall not fall upon him, nor upon Elwing his wife. Yet never again shall they walk among elves or men in the outer lands, but to them and to their sons is given the choice, to which kindred shall their fate be bound. Then Earendil spoke. Choose thou, Elwing, for now I am weary of the world. And Elwing chose the firstborn for love of Luthien, and for her sake Earendil did likewise, though his heart remained bound to the kindred of men. Then the Valar hallowed Vingolot and bore it beyond the door of night, setting it amongst the stars. Fair and marvelous was that vessel made, filled with a wavering flame, pure and bright. Earendil the mariner sat at its helm, glistening with the dust of elven gems, and upon his brow was bound the Silmaril of Feanor. Far he journeyed into the starless voids, yet most often was he seen at mornings and evenings, glimmering in sunrise and sunset as he returned from voyages beyond the confines of the world. Thus Earendil became the evening and the morning star, the beacon beyond the night. The farewell of the Evenstar and the file of Galadriel. We raise a lantern or a candle one final time, and we let it shine. Dave, do you want to be the caller?
Yeah,
and I be the responder? Okay.
Okay, yeah. Where now is the Evenstar?
Her light lingers yet, though unseen.
Shall she shine again?
In memory and in tale, she endures.
And then we would extinguish the light.
Extinguish the light.
May it be a light to you in dark places when all other lights go out. And that's what Galadriel said to Frodo in the Lord of the Rings when she gave him the
Okay,
spell.
and so you guys are getting a little sneak peek here of April 3rd. So we'll you know, do this little teaser here. Okay, and is there anything else that is going to be done for the evening?
No, after the
Okay, this is
person
all
would
okay.
extinguish the candle, that was it. I mean, they may spend the time in meditation. It depends upon the person, but
right. So, and if you guys want to continue the feeling of this, you can look up Arwen Undomiel by Anya, or you can play the Evenstar, you know, from Howard Shore from the movies. It keeps the mood. It's really wonderful if you want to do that right now. I've been playing it all day. And I'm getting a little bit of a scratchy throat. So, I think that was beautiful. Dave, thank you for the ritual. This was wonderful. And if you want to, we didn't do a meditation per se. We felt that, you know, like it was an observance today. We will be doing another ritual soon. Just stay tuned to our account.
Yeah, see, since we're not a physical group, we're an internet and thus sort of international one. It just had been local people, and I was leading it. I probably would have had people, you know, actually face the west, watch Venus setting.
Yeah.
We would go through the ritual afterward. There would be a time of meditation, but you can't really do that very well when you're an international group because people are all
It's
over
still
the planet.
light here.
So,
I can
right.
see the sun still here in San Diego. So you might be able to see Venus right now.
Possibly, but my western horizon has a bunch of trees in it, so
I see.
you know.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So yeah, that's yeah, it can be really problematic. Like if you have mountains around and things like that, like Venus and especially Mercury. Boy, it's really hard to see Mercury. You know, when it's, you know, it's like it has to be just above, you know, like it's at least
this
with
is
Venus,
actually,
it's like it can go really high and you can see it.
if you remember what I sent you, this is its maximum eastern elongation, so it's highest in the western sky now, Mercury. So
yes, it is. Yes, it is. So okay, well, thank you all for coming. We will, you know, stay tuned here. And we have April 3rd for the observance of Luthien. If you're really dedicated, you can get up early in the morning, or, you know, you might be in Europe and able to watch us at that time. So stay tuned for our notice. And we are also, there's something else that I wanted to announce, not just the these observances, but also that, I mean, we do have Isia Sulime and the eclipse coming. Some of you might be wanting to go to the Il Salunte Valion ritual, and I'm finding out that it's either going to be on the 16th or something like that.
it hadn't been
They're
finalized yet.
setting it up right now, and I believe that it'll be at 6:30 at night for Central European time, so not the UK time, but the time zone that would be like, say, Italy or the Netherlands, you know, like that time zone, Central Europe. So you subtract 9 hours for Pacific time, and I believe it's 6 hours for your time zone, right?
Yeah, 6 hours for Eastern.
6 hours difference. And then, of course, now that we have, so tonight happens to be when our clocks go ahead, but not sure like what everybody else is doing. So you may want to check dateful.com for what time it will be in your area. And just keep your eye out for our announcements. And we're really happy that you came today. So great. Yes. Yeah. And thank you for those great poems.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah. So I guess we'll let everybody go. We haven't seen anybody. Aha! We have Nimue. She says, that was beautiful. Thank you for the ritual. Love that you had this idea Lisa, and great job writing, Dave. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That was fabulous. Super fabulous. And Kelly Keith says, that was beautiful. Thank you. Since this is my first, do you not do anything closing? Oh, you know what? You're right. We should close the directions. I will close the directions. I need to do it from my Kindle. You're right. We should do that first. Okay. Our work is done. We acknowledge the existence of a Iluvatar, all that is, and the flame imperishable while we were in circle. And we thank, for people who are Christians, we thank the Christ Spirit for being with us in circle. And may we see your presence in all outside of this circle. Laita.
Laita.
Thank you to all of the Valar, and in particular to, actually, I think that we should thank Arwen and Earendil today.
Right. Definitely.
For being with us in the circle and for carrying out in spirit our work done for this evening. We hereby open ourselves to you, even outside of this circle. Laita.
Laita.
We acknowledge and are grateful to all of the elements and the directions, and to the silver and the golden light for creating this blessed space in which we do our spiritual work on this sacred evening. Laita.
Laita.
And now what we want to do is all of the generated energy, like of when we called in the directions and like even the lights of the trees through Earendil, Arwen, we want to send that to Arda, to the center of the earth. Arda, here is a gift of energy of pure intent of love, light, and healing that comes from the very deepest places of our hearts. And may it heal you and all of your inhabitants and bring all things to natural balance. The circle is now open. Laita, which means blessings. Okay. So that should close the circle. But you do have access to these energies anytime that you want to. So Kelly, I do want to tell you that it's not as cut and dry as it is in some pagan contexts, like where you have a sword that kind of cuts away, you know, like the spiritual and all of that. It's a little bit more interblended, and it's a little bit more organic how our circles work. So I wanted to let you know about that. Starflower says, thank you, Lisa and Dave. So beautiful. Oh, Faith says thank you. And Merlin says thank you. Awesome. So thank you for noting that we should have closed the circle. This was a good idea.
I want to explain too that since you know, it's even a bit different between Way of Arda's Lore and
yes.
Islante Valiant, because I'm a shaman, so I don't either call circles or dispel them. It's basically you enter a different cognitive mode, a different mental interconnection with spirit, and therefore that you enter a certain mental state and then leave a certain mental state. But it's not the ritual is important, but it's even more important as your shifting of cognitive modes. So that's what shamans do naturally. So it's just, so that's why the way that I wrote it was written differently than what Lisa was doing earlier. What she was doing with the calling of directions was a Way of Arda's Lore.
Actually, I noticed it was just naturally forming just from the energies coming, like they just kind of filled a circle. Like it's very different than cutting a circle, like with an athame or something like that. Right. So I did want to differentiate. Even that is different.
Yeah, I wanted to explain for the person who asks, so
Yeah, no,
so,
it was great
yeah,
because she's one of our new patrons and she
right,
needs to know this stuff.
right.
So great. So we're gonna go ahead and end. Thank you so much, all of you. It's wonderful. And anybody watching the replay, if you have any, comments or, like, how did you feel about this observance? Do you like observing Arwen Evenstar and Earendil and also like Luthien on April 3rd? Like, we'd like to hear what you have to say. We felt that was a really fun notice,
Yeah.
and like just really that was great. Oh gosh, Dave, that you went beyond. That was awesome. Very great. Okay, well, I think everybody is kind of like, I guess that they're still processing and stuff. So I guess we'll go ahead and close
Okay.
the video, and we already closed the circle and everything is, and thank you for reminding me of that, because I forgot, like, I just was like improvising our opening and using the IV format that Dave wrote, and forgot like some details. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful evening, and have a wonderful Venus retrograde. Okay. As an astrologer, I can tell you that Venus retrograde is a time for us to reevaluate our values. So what does that mean? Areas of love and money might be affected for you. So you want to like be a little careful if you are, particularly with your money. Okay. Like that, it's just be careful. Okay. We usually recommend that people do not buy high ticket dollar amount things because they'll be disappointed and they might not get their money back. So we will do this until April 15th, okay? Around April 15th, because it'll be over by then. And also, like for love relationships, be careful with new people that have come in since Venus went retrograde, which it went retrograde on March 1st, I believe. And let me just double check that. I'm pretty sure it was March 1st. Yes. Venus went retrograde on March 1st. So if you started a relationship around March 1st or after, or you're thinking about starting one right now, be careful. I'm just saying be careful, because the energies are flowing in a different way. And so I would bookmark your calendar for, I'm not saying don't have a relationship, but I would say mark your calendar for April 15th and then decide, like, if you guys are going forward or like whatever it is, because chances are you might be covering old ground that needs to be let go of. And sometimes we draw in exactly who we need to let go of. And sometimes that's a person from the past, and sometimes it's a new person, but it's still a past pattern. So I'm just letting you guys know this, like, because Venus retrograde. Okay. It'll be over on it'll be over on the 13th, but I say by the 15th because, well, tax day is really easy to remember. Okay. And I think maybe a couple of days just to like get it to go forward again is good enough for wrapping up, all of the issues of when it's retrograde. And even then, like, there may still be some, like fallout that you're still dealing with or what have you. But I did want to tell you that also in the area of beauty and beauty, like looks and supplies, if you are going to a hairdresser to keep your hairstyle or something that you knew that you loved before, it's probably okay. But if you want to try something really different and really drastic, be careful. Okay. And I say that, I'm not saying like don't try things, but I would say that maybe you would want to have it done in a way that you could convert it to something else if you don't like it. Okay. And it's not the first time that I've heard of people like, I was going to change my whole style and get a wolf cut and, dye my hair rainbow. And they hate it when they're done. So unless you've already had rainbow hair or something like that, then, and you know you like it, that's different again. But just saying, like, if you want to try something really, really avant-garde and something you've never done before, just make sure that whatever it is, you can fix it pretty easily so that you're not unhappy like for too long. Okay. So that's my Venus retrograde advice. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful evening, okay? Guys, take care. I'm going to end the stream now. Good night.
Bye. Goodbye, everyone.
Oh, Nimue said, thank you for the Venus retrograde tips. Yay.